Hi everybody, it's TheHande Mäkinen, and I'm joined by Darabka.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yes, and as you can see, we're doing Day of the Tentacle. This is obviously, as you can see from the menu, this is Day of the Tentacle Remastered, but we're gonna do this with the classic graphics, and let's hit New Game. And it's warning me about, oh yeah, and we don't want the commentary for this, we just want the regular old. So this is Day of the Tentacle, the sequel in the second game in the very short Maniac Mansion game series. Yeah. And now we're looking at the intro. I love they talked with the I think Peter Chan, I think was the main graphic designer, and they were actually inspired by a lot of like old Looney Tunes cartoons.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah. Chuck Jones, I think, was the one that they mentioned. And here are the tentacles.
Yeah.
I'm thirsty.
Oh yeah, and also Purple Tentacle
I don't think you should drink
is
that.
voiced by Danny Delk, whom Monkey Island fans will know as Murray.
It looks bad for you.
By the way, just quick,
Nonsense.
I know it's like not necessarily in the
makes me
recording,
feel
but
great.
I could hear the sound before,
Smarter.
but I can't hear.
More
But it's
aggressive.
okay, guys, because I've played the game before, so I
I
played it
feel like I could.
before.
Yep.
So. But yeah, we have the
Like I
tentacles.
could.
I love this intro. Like, it's so dramatic, like, and then he just grows little arms.
Yep.
Like I could.
Oh yeah, he didn't have arms in the first game.
Take on the world.
Yeah, I love this game, but I haven't done like oh, here we see the room. I always forget that this
Look,
room is
Hoagie, it's
actually
a
in the game.
hamster. Just what I need for dissection lab
Laverne
tomorrow.
and Hoagie.
I think I need that for the band, Laverne. You know, like we could bite its head off or whatever.
Hands off
Hoagie's
that
pretty cool.
hamster.
Friend
Are
of
funny.
yours, Bernard?
He belongs to Weird Ed Edison, and it looks like he's brought us a note. It's from my old friend, Green Tentacle. He says that Purple Tentacle's mutated into an insane genius, and Dr. Fred's going to kill them both. I thought I was free of Dr. Fred and those crazy Edisons forever. But now I know that I must go back to the mansion.
Yep, Back to the Future reference. But the sound works again, so it like comes and goes. But I won't mention it again.
All right, yeah.
But yeah,
I forget who Bernard's voice actor in this is, but apparently he was. He's apparently like some famous actor that that Tim Schafer and Dave Grossman really liked, and he was like on some sitcom or something, and they thought that they couldn't get him because he was so famous, but then they just called up his agent and they managed to get him in the game. Oh, there's Larry Ahern, who was one of the lead animators. He went on to direct The Curse of Monkey Island, the third game.
nice.
Yeah. And there's this is kind of like the this came out, I don't remember when, was it 1994 or something? Oh yeah, and it has all three of the this has all three of the LucasArts composers as well, like Clint Bajakian, Michael Land, and Peter McConnell, because I actually just recently saw a long interview with Michael Land and Clint Bajakian. And they actually talked about how they contributed or how they worked together on this game. That each of them actually had each of them were responsible for the different time eras, because there's time travel in this game.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I think Bajakian did the music for the past section, and Michael Land did the future sections, which actually makes sense because Michael Land is the guy who did the soundtrack for the Monkey Island games originally, and he also did the soundtrack for The Dig, so he kind of liked that sci-fi stuff. So that's why he got to do the future parts in this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
have you played the Maniac Mansion 1? I'm
Okay,
sure, because you
we'll
said you
spread
played
out,
pretty much
commando
all of
style.
the...
Laverne, you go secure the area behind those double doors.
I mean, I played a little bit of it,
you
obviously,
take care
because
of
it's in this
upstairs
game.
reconnaissance. I'll maintain
Yeah.
Command HQ
And
here,
it's,
in the lobby.
What are we looking for?
We've got to find where Dr. Fred is holding the tentacles.
Yeah, this is kind of the little tutorial
This
part
better
in a
not
way.
take too long. I've got an anatomy final tomorrow.
And I've got a show to set up later tonight. If I'm late, I don't get to test the drums.
If I know Dr. Fred, he's got the tentacles tied up in his secret lab. Question is, where's his secret lab?
So that's our first job. We have to find the secret lab. Whoops. Okay. I forget that it shows this every time you start the game.
So you said that you played the game the first one only a little bit, so you actually didn't play it through.
No, and I heavily doubt that I will. I did try. I think I did have like an honest try of trying to.
It's
That's
stuck to the floor.
kind of blasphemy to me. I mean, how can you call yourself a LucasArts fan
Well,
when you have played
damn near
Maniac
impossible.
Mansion?
That's the thing.
It's impossible.
even
I mean,
yeah, it's one of the few like LucasArts games where it's like possible to get like stuck and stuff. I forget.
true, but
Laverne
Have
is
you-
covering that territory.
Oh, okay. You can't get in there. Yeah. But I know enough about it. Isn't Bernard like the only one of the kids from it that actually came back? Like Hoagie
Yeah,
and Laverne were the first. Yeah.
no, Bernard is the only hero because there's one main guy who wants to save his girlfriend, and then there's like other optional characters you can choose. You know, like you can, and with every character, 2 characters that you have, they have different abilities basically,
It's a bottle of correctional fluid.
and there's different endings you can have, like different solutions you can have.
Yeah.
Like Bernard is the nerdy one; he can like fix stuff and whatever. And then there's a guy who does photos, so he can develop a photo and so
Hoagie's
on.
got
So
that part of the house.
Yeah. Yeah, I did play it long enough to get the hamster and blow it up in the microwave because that's what I showed off well, that wasn't the actual puzzle, but I did that video, 10 adventure game puzzles where you abuse animals. But the hamster thing in the original Maniac Mansion, that's a complete extra thing. So that's not a thing you have to do to beat the game. So I was actually talking about the puzzle in this game where you use a hamster. So, yeah.
So I'm guessing you haven't played Zach McCracken's Alien Mindbender.
I played it. I hate it. Absolutely hate those. The
Aha.
pre-Secret
A
of Monkey
secret
Island,
passage.
like LucasArts adventure
This is
games,
all
are really
too
not my
easy.
bag. I don't like the Last Crusade one either.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah. It's after Monkey Island that these games started to get really good, in my view.
Laverne, how'd you get upstairs?
Am I upstairs? I got lost.
I just love the fact
Seen
that
any
Laverne
tentacles?
wouldn't even realize
What's
like
a
she's upstairs.
tentacle?
Oh, just
Yeah.
something I whipped up in my spare time. Made good pets, actually. Until one of them tried to take over the world. Had to tie the little buggers up in the basement.
Good thing you told us that.
Yeah, Bernard wanted us to set them free.
Thank God you weren't that stupid. Did you say Bernard?
Okay, you're free to go.
Thanks, Bernard.
Yes, thank you, naive human. Now I can finish taking over the world.
Wait!
Oh, yeah. Now I remember. He's incredibly evil, isn't he?
I'll try to talk him out of it.
Well, what possible harm could one insane mutant tentacle do?
Leaping lab rats!
Dr. Fred.
What have you done this time, you meddling milquetoast? Now,
That's an
Purple
interesting way to
Tentacle is
write
free
milquetoast.
to use his evil mutant powers to take over the world and enslave all humanity.
Whoops.
Our
Whoops.
only hope now is to turn off my sludge-o-matic machine and prevent the toxic mutagen from entering the river.
Isn't it a little late for that, Doctor?
Of course, That's why I'll have to do it. Yesterday, through the time
Yeah, I love
machine.
this thing. Like, you're trying to go back to the past, like, one day to prevent
This is all
Purple
your
Tentacle
fault,
from
Bernard.
mutating.
Behold, children, the chronogon.
And then it goes completely
Doc,
haywire.
can't you just
Right.
send
Yeah, of
Bernard?
course, of course.
No, you must all go to increase the odds that one of you will make it there alive.
Have any people ever been hurt in this thing?
Of course not. This is the first time I've ever tried it on people. Well, I'll be.
Bernard, float over here so I can punch you.
I love
This
that.
must be that Woodstock place Mom and Dad are always talking about.
I think Laverne was loosely based on
don't know.
one of the
I don't wanna know.
either one of Tim Schafer's or Dave Grossman's girlfriends, who was also a medical student, so that's why she's like that.
We may not live to see yesterday.
I'm sure Dr. Fred wouldn't have done this if it weren't safe.
After all, he is a doctor.
It works! I can't believe it! And they said imitation diamond wasn't good enough.
And they were right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And it's great. Hoagie's really
Yeah,
into it.
Yeah, he's surfing, of course.
That almost looks like a downwards dab, actually.
It kind of does, yeah.
Alright, and then Laverne gets stuck up the tree. That's kind of the only thing I really hate, that you only get to play as Laverne after you chop that tree down. So there's a long period. And also, like, you have to get the tentacle disguise before you're allowed to move around.
Cheap mail order jewels.
What happened to Hoagie and Laverne?
I knew I should have bought a real diamond.
Are they alive?
My dials say that the larger specimen landed 200 years in the past, and the other is stuck 200 years in the future.
Well, hurry up and bring them back.
I will, as soon as I get a new diamond. Then all your buddies have to do is plug in their respective chronogons and...
Plug them in? Where is Hoagie going to find an electrical outlet 200 years in the past?
Yes, well, he'll be needing my patented super battery then, won't he? Now, where did I put those patented super battery plans of mine?
Plans? How are we going to get Hoagie plans?
Don't worry me with details, boy. Just help me find the plans. They're in this house somewhere.
Yeah.
Now what am I going to do?
Alright.
I think I made myself perfectly clear. Step 1, find plans. Step 2, save world. Step 3, get out of my house. Let's get cracking.
Alright, so he went upstairs, and here are the plans.
It's Dr. Fred's design for a super battery.
And
It's
let's-
capable
Of
I've
course.
got the plans.
Quick, we have to flush them to Hoagie.
How did you get over there?
I love that. Cartoon
That's car-
physics, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say the same thing, yeah.
Yeah. I love this game mechanic where you flush like items to the
You really
characters.
flush
That's a really funny
Down the
or
toilet.
fun mechanic.
Well,
in
it's
this
a
game.
it's a chronogon, so yeah.
Using
They literally
the
get
highly sophisticated time flux hydronic vortex chamber I've installed in each chronogon, you can flush small inanimate objects to each other through time. Flush small inanimate objects to each other through time.
Hello? Dr.
And especially I love it when
Fred,
you
can hear
flush like the
me?
spaghetti to Laverne and it becomes soggy.
Did you hear something?
Yep.
But the plans are completely
No,
unaffected.
Let's see if what's his name catches on.
Oh, great. I'm stuck in colonial times, tentacles are taking over the world, and now the toilet's backing up.
Okay, come over here. It's your old pal, Dr. Fred.
Dr. Fred, how'd you get in there?
I want you to pick up those plans you see in the Chronogon, Hoagie. Bring them to Red Edison. He's
Red
my
Edison,
great,
yeah.
great, great,
All
great,
the like
great,
the
great,
Edisons have
great,
like names that end with like
great, great,
ed.
grandfather.
Yep.
He'll know what
Yeah.
to do.
You need
Well,
the
in
plans
the-
to make a super battery so you can plug in your Chronogon.
Okay, if you say so, Bernard.
Good boy. Does he have any experience with electronics?
Well, I once saw him take 3,000 volts directly through his head without batting an eye.
Didn't he pass out?
Well, he was already passed out when it happened.
Time for me to save the world, I guess.
All right.
What I wanted to say is that the in the first game, you get introduced to the entire Edison family,
Yeah,
and I think it's pretty hilarious. So
yeah.
um,
And they are all in this game, like the
yes, they are
the
in
wife, the son, and the
and the mad scientist himself. Yeah.
yeah, and that green
It's
tentacle was
close.
also in it. I remember you had to give him food.
Yes, the green. Yeah, and you have to give him lots of different food and things that, you know.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Push mailbox flag.
Ooh, the Pony Express.
Yeah, we need to use that in one of the puzzles at some point in the game.
Yeah, the animations are pretty great. I do like that. But
Oh, yeah,
one thing, as much as you like say,
The president has
Wait,
to be
yeah.
a human being.
Please, this is serious business.
You're right.
All right. I thought it was going to be one of those newspaper clippings, but yeah, we're going to see those as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
were you about to say?
I want to say is that I always like the graphical style of the original Maniac Mansion and Zack McCracken. You know how they were like kind of uniform, kind of like. I did like that, and there was actually a really good remake of Maniac Mansion called Maniac Mansion Deluxe.
What's up?
I don't
feel
know, like,
talking, huh?
maybe I'll
Oh, silence or something, probably, right?
I didn't expect him to actually start talking to
Yeah.
the guy, but I clicked on him because I thought Hoagie was going to look at him.
No.
Dude.
All that I wanted to say is that the remake is pretty cool.
Cool.
Maybe
We're
I get to
some
play
money.
it. Maybe you know, I could show it to you then, since you haven't,
Yeah,
since you're not planning on playing it through.
Yeah, the look of the characters, like they made the heads intentionally like huge for the characters to make them like more expressive. And I think the weird proportions, they were based entirely on. I think the original was like the original Maniac Mansion was made for Commodore 64, and I think that was the thing, is like they were built to pretty much like fill up, you know, the maximum like sprite, like the maximum size limit for all the sprites. So
Yeah.
that's why that's why the characters look like that in the original game.
So
Yeah,
as soon as
yeah.
Toby gets that battery working, we're set.
I'm afraid not. We still need a diamond for the main unit. And your friend in the future needs power too, if she's still alive.
Alive?
Get me
I
out
love-
of here. I like trees and everything, but this one has got to go.
Yeah, you were saying.
I wanted to say that I do like they added Bernard Slouch, and because he does look exactly the same in the old game, except here because the characters are like drawn like all uniquely. You know, they gave him like the super nerdy, like, you know, pants up and slouch and everything. So.
Oh yeah. And that I was about to say, like, about the graphics, like, so this is the remaster version. So they redrew the graphics to make them you know, to make them like HD compliant. But basically, they did follow the original art style very, very like faithfully in the remaster as well, which I really like. There's only one thing I think that they like changed significantly. It's one of the portraits in Hoagie's timeline, like in the one of the hallways. So the idea is that this is the same building in all the 3 time periods. It's the Edison home.
Right, yeah.
So, and I think in the hallway there was a portrait of, I think, of Max from Sam and Max, and I think they changed it to something else in the remaster.
Well, because the Sam and Max, because it used to be part of the LucasArts kind of thing, but the guy who owns the rights, he published the later games in his own with a different company. So yeah, that's a rights thing why they changed it. Because they used to have these Easter eggs for Sam and Max and for other games in different games, as you know.
The guy who created Sam and Max is Steve
see
Purcell,
the roof and some Christmas light. It's already open.
Oh, it's already open. I thought the window was closed.
One thing that you might find interesting, they did that already with in Maniac Mansion and Zack McCracken, because in Maniac Mansion you can find a chainsaw, which is just the red herring. It doesn't do anything. Yep. And then in Zack McCracken you can find the chainsaw fuel. Oh yeah. And there's also a poster of Zack McCracken in Maniac Mansion 1. So the joke is that you cannot use the chainsaw because the elements are in 2 different games. So.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Steve Purcell was he was a big artist guy at the LucasArts. He actually made the box art for Secret of Monkey Island as well. So the iconic box art for the first game, and yep. And and it's not like they're trying to hide. I mean, this is an old game, and they just it is what it is. Like it would have been too much work to go and like remove it from the original art assets or whatever. I'm not sure if they could do that. Well, maybe they could, but like what you were talking about, like they later Telltale made the later Sam and Max games.
Yeah. Well, because the guys from LucasArts, a lot of them either went to Telltale or the other company, or they went somewhere else. So yeah.
Okay, and also another thing, this game was. Is this the room with the suicidal guy?
It's useless. No one will ever
be
interested in my design, so I'm ending my novelty inventing career right here in this tacky motel. How appropriate.
I think on the commentary, Schaefer and Grossman actually comment on that that if that flag had actually gone through his ears, he would actually be dead. So
but it's cartoon physics, so...
Yeah, it's cartoon physics.
Well, yeah, it's... Wow, like saying that... Yeah, that's silly, but... Great comment.
Green!
Bernard!
What are you doing up here?
Well, I couldn't stop Purple, and he's gonna go out and conquer the world, and I'm afraid of what he'll do if he catches me, if Dr. Fred doesn't find me first. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Hey!
What's up, Bernard?
How's your new band doing?
Yep.
Green tea and the sushi platter? We're doing great! We've decided to really
Green tea.
capitalize on our strongest quality as a band.
Yep.
Intoxicating 3-part vocal harmony, provocative lyrical content.
Carefully crafted melody and distinctive counterpoint?
Volume, man, volume! We have a chance to win a Grimy Award as the loudest new band.
Grimy Award.
Pulling out all the stops.
Oh boy.
I think there's a part in
great.
1 where you go to his room for Green Tentacle.
Yeah.
And he has the boxes, and then
Good luck in
there's
saving the world,
the rock band chick.
Yeah.
Where you can I think record a song with him or something. I don't know anymore, but because one of the characters is a rocker chick.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's something like that. That's why I find it a little bit sad that they have only Bernard, but on the other hand, I know it's a sequel. Oh yeah, by the way, in the upper right corner, of course, there's a Stormtrooper helmet.
The upper left corner.
Upper left, I meant, yeah.
Yeah, all right. I mentioned that volume we mentioned that volume business with his band because there was that fake barf that was stuck on the ceiling in the lobby. So now we turned the stereo on.
Yep.
Wow, this is loud. Whew.
All right, so we need that. We need the crowbar. I guess we get that from the thief that's outside, isn't it? Yeah.
It's been a while that I played it, but I do remember the fake barf and that song.
Yeah. So this is a hotel. So the Edisons have gone into the hotel business. That's why there was that random guy. There was that big fat guy sleeping in one of the rooms, and then there's the random guy.
Yeah. Right.
About to commit suicide. And here's another guy.
Hey, boy, you missed the party.
You and the clown were having a party?
No, last night. At the Novelty Good Salesman's Convention.
Oh yeah, they reused this guy's model for the guy with the kite. What's his name? The guy with the kite that got hit by electricity.
Oh yeah, Benjamin Franklin.
Ben Franklin, yeah, that's that. Yeah, sorry, blanked out for the name.
Yeah, no
Nice
worries.
cigars.
I roll them myself. So, want a cigar?
Sure, lay one of those Havanan babies on me.
Thought I was gonna blow your head off there, didn't you? Well, you were right.
A double fake out, if you will.
Yep.
You shouldn't smoke. It's a bad habit.
It's got the silent laughter, like there's no like sound effect for him, like laughing or a voice clip. It's kind of funny. All right, and if you all try to take the teeth,
I can't reach that from here.
Yeah, I remember that.
it just keeps going back and forth. So we have to open this.
And lure it in there, yep.
Yeah.
Those kind of teas always remind me of the Joker. Batman.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is, yeah, okay. I thought you had to use the push command on that, but I guess he just did it by himself. Yeah.
Well, this is still like the last part of the old Scum system where it was the whole. Well, this comes from the earliest form of the graphical adventure games where you had to type all the commands in.
Yeah, but what I mean is that if you try to use the open command, it's the swinging door. It just closes every time you do it. So
okay.
So apparently you could just click on it. They put this little thing that basically trick you.
Yep.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, the original Maniac Mansion was done by Ron Gilbert, and he wasn't at LucasArts anymore at this point. He had gone to start Humongous Entertainment. So it was Tim Schafer and Dave Grossman who worked on this, who wrote Monkey Island with him. Yeah. So it was kind of the last, cooperation with the old Monkey Island guys, but since Gilbert wasn't there anymore. But like, yeah, there was also a funny thing. They did a video for Schaefer's company. It's Double Fine, and they did a little before the remaster came out. They did this video where they were playing it and commenting on it. And at some point, like, Schaefer kind of looks over. Grossman's playing, and he says, like, "What are you doing?" Because he's got his hand on the keyboard, and he says, I'm using the keyboard shortcuts, because all these commands that you have down here, they have keyboard shortcuts, so you just press L for look at and things.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Well, that's something that was common to a lot of PC games, like a lot of RPG games too, and so on.
Yeah, I think this is the swinging door too. So here, let's go. pick up some stuff. Here's the spaghetti and the oil. Wait, did I already send the? Oh, this is the patent application. Okay.
It's the battery plans I'm supposed to give to that Red Edison dude. You're
Dude.
brilliant. What a novel
Yeah.
design. Come to Baltimore at once.
Okay. Bernard needs this.
Well, I'll just run to the Chronojon.
There's something in the Chronojon.
Oh yeah, I still have the sign. I need to give that to Hoagie. It was the help wanted sign. Oh,
It's
this.
from George's hardware. George says that every American should have a vacuum cleaner in their basement.
Oh yeah, I love this.
I'll use the Chronojon.
Because they have a because Hoagie's in the time when they're writing the American Constitution, he puts it in the suggestion box, and oh yeah, Hoagie needs the textbook as well. Don't I have it? I thought I picked up the there was a help wanted sign, or did I not? Oh no, it's there. It's there.
I don't
Okay.
remember.
Wanted.
There you
Lab
go.
Assistant. Hard-working moronic drone needed to assist genius with experiments. High school diploma not required.
Yeah, okay, that's what I needed. So we need to flush this to Hoagie as well. All right, so Hoagie's getting a lot of inventory now.
Yeah. I love his walk cycle.
Oh yeah, I like that too. And there's a lot of great stuff you get to do as Hoagie. So it's not I love the Laverne section, but you do spend most of the start of the game as Hoagie, and Hoagie is pretty damn funny. All right, and here is George Washington. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Excuse me. Yes? Whoa, you're like George Washington. Very much like him, according to my wife, Mrs. Washington. My name's Hoagie. Like the sandwich? How quaint.
Like the sandwich.
Is it true about you and the cherry tree? Oh, yes, it's quite true. Why, I've cut down acres of cherry trees in my day. I bet you've lost it. You couldn't cut down a tree to save your grandmother. Lost it, have I? Why, I'd show you a thing or two if there were a cherry tree nearby. But as you can see, there isn't.
All right.
I only cut down cherry trees. Family tradition, you understand. Cherries only. There's nothing out there but cedar and kumquats.
Actually, I didn't know what the heck a kumquat was, but before I played this game,
Yep.
I don't think I've ever had one. All right, we've actually gone on for a while now, so I think we should pause it, and we'll come back in just a second to do a second episode of this. So see you then. Bye.